this morning, or excuse me, this afternoon, what we're going to do is we are going to go through the data app as if you already had an account. I just wanted to show you what the dashboard looks like. So what I start with is, of course, this is a Compass Study dashboard. You'll notice up here, this is the training site. And I usually orient everyone to home. And this first section right up here is really operates as a search function. So for example, I will look and see, so because it's a training site, I'm not sure we have a lot of cases in here for Cape Fear. For Cape Fear and filter. Yes, we do have some for training, that's good. And you can see they're quite stellar patients that we've been working with here, Daffy, Minnie, and Mickey. If you were in a hurry and you just remember, like for instance, if you were just to type in Daffy, then you would click filter and the search function would find that patient. So now this part of the dashboard is where you'll be focusing your energy and time. And I just want to show you, this is a patient ID, which is computer generated, and the obvious patient's first and last name, hospital. I don't know that you'll see that part, but patient's discharge date. And then Dee and some of her team will have completed the screening form, which we call the eligibility form. Just so you can see it, I will just pull it up quickly. I say quickly, it seems to be a little slow today. So this is the screening form, and this it's a good review for the eligibility for the Compass study. So it is for patients who are 18 years and older, who are, their primary language is either English or Spanish, because we do translate all our information into Spanish. And this is not for patients who were solely admitted for the elective carotid endarterectomy. And for patients whose final discharge diagnosis is ischemic stroke, transient ischemic stroke, or hemorrhagic stroke. And the discharge disposition, very importantly, is those patients who are discharged home, either with self-care or home care. However they define home. It could be an assisted living. So that is the eligibility, and so you'll see here green, and if you hover over this button, it shows that it was completed. Next, we'll just take a quick look at the enrollment form, and these little circles that are filled in and checked are the various sections of the enrollment form. They're pretty straightforward. Patient's contact information, which is very important to us, because when let's say when Dee goes in to see the patient, she will print the face sheet for the patient, and then she'll verify and she'll say, Mr. Duck, do you still live on 123 Road in Winston-Salem? And then she will update any changes, because the patients are returning to clinic to see you. We need to make sure that we have their updated contact information. Now, the Compass study also focuses on caregivers, and so we do caregiver assessment, and so we ask about caregivers here. And then there's some additional contact information, demographic data. I'm kind of scooting through this pretty quickly, because I think it's pretty straightforward for each of you. Basic demographics here, and then in-hospital data, past medical history, BMI, ambulatory status, NIH stroke scale score. We really focus a lot on that. And we want to make sure that, that first of all, that you write in your clinical notes about the NIH stroke scale score, and then it's documented and then also placed into the COMPASS app. And then you can see the rest: aphasia, rehab, and where they were recommended to go to rehab, and their status at rehab, and also very importantly, whether or not they were scheduled for follow-up visits, and that includes the COMPASS visits, and the name of their primary care provider, which is important because we send information to that primary care provider at the time of visit, and Sarah will talk more about that. And then this last question is before the patient is discharged, again, V goes in to see them and gives them the brochure and talks to them about the COMPASS study. So that is a whirlwind trip around the eligibility and enrollment form. So before I go further, do any of you have any questions about that piece? Because this will be completed. Okay. Alrighty. So the other thing that I wanted to explain to you is that this workflow, once the patient, their eligibility and enrollment form are completed, and then any follow-up post-discharge, you have to go to eCare app. These remaining buttons here are just little reminder buttons about the status of the eCare app. So if you can sort of draw a mental line here, this is before discharge, and these are after discharge, and after discharge is go to eCare app. So this button right here is a patient management tool. So as you all are probably familiar, there are disease registries, including stroke registries. North Carolina has a North Carolina Stroke Care Collaborative registry, which is what this COMPASS Data app, the basic app, is built on. And there's also another stroke registry called the Get With a Guideline. That's American Heart Association, and that's a national level and international level. So this PMT here is just for D to enter that information. It's just the, I'll just show you quickly. It's just the Get With the Guidelines number, because we include that information in our data analysis. And that's to reduce the burden so that there's not a repeat of information being entered. So now I will go to the eCare app. And as you can see here, these are the assessments that are going to be provided to the patient post-discharge.